we'll kind of unmute and mute as we go along. We'll work with it. Welcome, everybody. I'm Tal. For those of you that don't know me, I am one of the assistant professors at the FNP program, teaching all of these wonderful graduates that we have here on camera in front of us. Thank you for all the family and for joining us here today. This is an unusual graduation, but we're going to celebrate it and it'll be just as amazing as any other graduation. We have a really exciting plan for you guys today. We have some really exceptional speakers and student speakers and a really nice presentation for you guys. So to begin, we'll have the welcome address by one of your fellow classmates, Cristina Hernandez.
So hi, everyone. I would like to start out by saying thank you to all of my classmates for nominating me to give this speech today. I was really surprised because by now they all know that I'm the biggest procrastinator. But you know, when I was writing this, I really tried to give it 100% this morning. I would also like to start by saying, on behalf of my class, thank you to all of our faculty, directors, and to all of the family members and supporters watching this right now. Because although my classmates and I worked really hard these last 3.5 years, we certainly did not get here alone. This speech could have gone a lot of ways, but when I reflected on how on earth I made it here, I realized that there is one person in particular whose words of wisdom have carried me through the years and continue to play in the back of my head when I'm having doubts. And I can say that, at least for myself, getting here was not a straight and easy path. And this person, like all the other cool and successful people, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, went to college at 18 and dropped out shortly after. She got married, started a family, and got a job as a furniture saleswoman. Fast forward 10 years and she is still working at the furniture store, but one day she decided that she wanted to be the boss. And enough was enough of the job that had her traveling constantly and rarely gave her enough time to spend with her kids. So she went to work one day, quit on the spot, and then went home and told her husband what she had done. And then she told him she was going back to school full-time. Her husband, who was totally blindsided, thought that maybe she should go ask for her job back. But when he saw how determined she was, he chose to support her decision. So she started at the local community college among all of the 18-year-olds and set herself on a 4-year plan towards a degree in accounting. But she didn't stop there. Immediately upon graduation, she started her own accounting business, a big risk with no guarantee of success. Her only clients that first year were family members and a couple of close friends. However, fast forward to today, 20 years later, and that accounting business has flourished and is still there today. This story has always been my favorite college success story. Although I was never able to truly appreciate it until I went through college myself and saw how difficult it is, even without kids, and even while being an adult child in graduate school who moved back home after college. What's more is that this woman and her husband didn't have all of the resources that I had growing up. Their parents were from Mexico, had less than a 6th grade of formal education, and worked hard in blue-collar jobs in farm work and factories. In addition to the incredible example set by this boss lady, has been a source of encouragement and wisdom over the years. And today, I would like to share some of her biggest lessons from this person that I feel are relevant as we prepare for the excitement and uncertainty of job hunting and transitioning into our new roles as nurse practitioners. And this person that I'm talking about, whose birthday is tomorrow, by the way, is my mom. And before I get to those words of wisdom, I want to give an example of just how much of an impact she had on me growing up. When I was in the 2nd grade, my teacher, Mrs. Martinez, asked my class to make a list of things we feared. I began by listing the typical 7-year-old stuff, spiders and snakes, and then somewhere on the list, I wrote my mom when she's mad. When my teacher showed my mom the list, my mom told her she's mistaking fear for respect, which was true. Mexican moms are no joke, and even at an early age, I knew she meant business. But anyways, here it is, Maria Reyes 101. So happy birthday, Mom. Lesson number 1. Since we are now all on a job hunt, I felt this one was especially relevant. It's also my favorite because my mom is normally a very modest lady, so I like to hear her say it. Here it is, number 1. When you're looking for a job, remember, the more turds you throw at the wall, the more that sticks. And by turds, I'm talking about your resume. What this means is that you have to put yourself out there. The more opportunities you seek, the higher the probability that will be that something will happen. Or in other words, the more job applications you put in, the more likely it is that one of them will pick you. And I've tested this one. After the first part of the program where I became an RN, I decided that I was going to work as an inpatient RN in a hospital. So I took the advice, and within a 3-month span, I had applied to multiple jobs at every single hospital within an hour's drive of where I lived. I applied to them all, even the jobs in specialty units that said I needed 3 years of experience, which I didn't have. I threw my resume turds everywhere. All in all, I put in over 100 applications and did not hear back from 98% of them. But that's okay because all I needed was one offer to get my foot in the door, and within 3 months it happened. So just apply. Even if you read the description and it sounds great, but you feel you are underqualified, you have nothing to lose. Number 2, take risks. This is something we all already know something about. We all took a big risk when we accepted admission into this program. Our success was never guaranteed. We were not guaranteed to get in when we applied. We were not guaranteed to make it past the admission interview, and we were not guaranteed to make it today to graduation. And the further in we were, the more we had to lose. But now we are here. We took a big risk. We took a risk, and today we get to celebrate 3.5 years worth of hard work. So remember, when you step into interviews, which can be very intimidating, be confident because you earned your spot in that room. Number 3, it's okay not to know all the answers. The key is to know how to find it. As new graduates stepping into that new role as a nurse practitioner, it can be very intimidating. We are only getting started, and although we have learned so much, we have so much yet to learn. We won't have all of the answers as new graduates, or really ever. Medicine is always changing. The important thing is that we know how to be resourceful and proactive in finding answers. Number 4, you're not a loser until you choose not to get up. As I said, the road to getting here was not straight and easy. There were many days where I was so tired and I wanted to take my entire backpack, throw it in the trash, and go home. There were also many times over the years where I failed at things. At the end of the first half of the program, we had what's called our HESI exit test, and it's basically a predictor for how we will do on the NCLEX, which is the state exam to become a registered nurse. And going into this test, I had some things going on at home, but really those were excuses. I didn't study and I thought I was just going to pass this exit test. So I took it and I failed it. So we had 2 more tries. It wasn't part of our grade and we just had to pass, so I still really wasn't worried. I studied a little the day before the retake, took it, and failed it again. So after the second time, I was sweating. I had 1 more chance, and I did pass on the 3rd try, but this was supposed to be a predictor of how we would do on the state exam. So now I was scared that I wasn't going to pass the real deal. But you know, as Mom says, you're not a loser until you choose not to get up. It's all about that comeback. So at this point, I was stressed about that state exam, especially because for this program, you have 1 summer where you have to pass in order to move on to the nurse practitioner part of the program. I signed myself up for the exam, and for 2 weeks, I made it my job to study for that state test. I got Kaplan's question bank, and I was doing 200 to 300 practice questions a day. And when test day came and I took the NCLEX, it shut off at 75 questions, which for those of you who don't know, that's as good as it gets. That's the minimum number of questions you can get to pass. So I did it and I became a registered nurse. So that's just one example of one of the many things I have failed at over the years. But what is important is that you learn from it, pick yourself up, and push forward. It's how we come out of difficult moments that show us what we're capable of. Number 5, believe in yourself. Confucius said, the man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both correct. And Confucius did not mention women in his quote because we already know we're always right. But anyway, this one can be tough. It's not always easy to believe that things will happen for us, especially during times of uncertainty. But of all of Mom's lessons, this one I believe is the most important. Without belief, we cannot attain those things we desire most. One of the best examples of this comes from our very own founding mother of nurse practitioners, Loretta Ford. For those of you who don't know, Loretta Ford was a public health nurse in Colorado who in 1965 began the first nurse practitioner program with physician Henry Silver at the University of Colorado. They had a goal to improve access to care through a vision that took the field of nursing in an entirely new direction. That crazy vision they had was to train nurses to assess, diagnose, and treat patients independently. This idea was revolutionary, but in the beginning there was a tremendous opposition by the field of medicine and also the field of nursing. Nobody thought it was a good idea. There was not a lot of support for this profession in its infancy, but Loretta Ford, Dr. Henry Silver, and that first class of nurse practitioners believed in their vision. Fast forward to today, 55 years later, and there are now more than 290,000 nurse practitioners across the country with advanced medical training who assess, diagnose, and treat patients. And we, the Samuel Merritt class of 2020, will soon join that workforce. So as we step out into these uncertain times, we too must believe in ourselves, our potential, and everything that we have worked for. Thank you.
Good job.
Woohoo! Great, Christy.
Yay!
Woohoo!
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Christina. So the next speaker, we have two keynote speakers for you guys here today. The first one's going to be Dr. Rebecca Rogers. She's the Associate Director of the FNP program, Associate Professor, and our local Sacramento fearless leader throughout your journey in the FNP program.
All right. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Good. All right. Well, hello to everyone today, and welcome to our virtual graduation recognition. My name is Dr. Rebecca Rogers, and as Tal said, I'm the Associate Director of the FNP program. And I have the pleasure of overseeing all the FNP students on the Sacramento campus. I'm also a poster child of nursing degrees. I started a long time ago obtaining an associate degree in nursing at a local community college. And quite honestly, at that time, I didn't even know nurses that had master's or doctoral degrees. So I really thought that I had reached my ultimate goal and loved being at the bedside and still hold that very dear to my heart. But little did I know that nursing had bigger plans for me. And so along with that meant I needed to keep going to school. So I went back and obtained a bachelor's in nursing. Then I went, needed to get my master's in nursing. I did a postgraduate FNP after that. I had the pleasure of being a fellow named at Duke University and ultimately completed my Doctor of Nursing practice. So one of my favorite jokes when I can't even unscrew a lid, maybe is I say, boy, all these tuition dollars hard at work. There's been lots of tuition and lots of college units. But what I'll say is if I can do it, you can too. And look at what each of you have achieved. Nursing is a calling, it's a passion, and it's what each of us were born to do. So on behalf of all the faculty and staff at Samuel Merritt, we are so pleased to recognize all of the graduates from our ELMS FNP program. This has been a rigorous process of learning and training, and we do realize the sacrifice each of you have made. I'd like to also thank all of the families, friends, and really all of the support systems that our students rely upon in order to become successful graduates. You know, the role of the family nurse practitioner is such a vital role for the health of our communities. Becoming an advanced practice nurse is a very important piece of our healthcare teams. Family nurse practitioners are advanced practice registered nurses who work autonomously or in collaboration with other healthcare professionals to deliver family-focused care. Given the rather broad nature of the family patient population focus, FNPs offer the most broad or wide range of healthcare services that revolve around the family unit. from health promotion, disease prevention, to direct care and counseling across the lifespan. You all have chosen the most amazing career. You know, every year I find that commencement is a happy and also a sad time for me personally and professionally. I'm always very excited for all of the graduates, just so very excited to watch how they have developed and to see how they will continue to develop. We love to keep in touch with all of the students and find out about all the amazing work that you're doing in our communities. But, you know, it's also a sad time because I know that personally I will miss all of you. So, you know, each cohort, they become like family to us. And we want you all to know that we will miss you. So please keep in touch with us. Again, I do want to congratulate all of the graduates. I want to wish you all the very best of luck and share some advice that I received many years ago. You will have many doors open. So my wish for you is that each of you have the courage to pass through those doors and see what lies on the other side. I want you to dream big, and I want you to know that you will accomplish great things. So with that, I say my very best to all of you. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Rogers. Our next speaker is going to be Dr. Nikki Love, Assistant Professor in the FNP program.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Hi. I want to start off by letting you all know that it's so great to see you all. I love seeing you. I miss you all, and it's crazy. I know your last semester at SMU Merritt was not ideal due to the pandemic, but guess what? You guys all made it. You all graduated, and you're all ready to practice as real providers in the real world. And I could not be more proud of every single one of you. If you're anything like I was when I graduated the FNP program, you're probably currently feeling a million different emotions. You're asking yourself a million different questions. Will I pass boards? Will I get a job? Will I even remember how to treat common illnesses? The answer to all of these questions is yes. Yes, you will pass boards. No, not all of you will pass on the first try. But guess what? That does not make you a bad FNP. All that means is that you need to study harder so you'll pass the second time. Yes, you will all get a job. Will it be your dream job with your right out of school with the pay that you want? Probably not, but guess what? That is okay. Once again, you're gonna gain experience and eventually you will land your perfect job with the pay you've been waiting for the rest. The pay that you've been waiting for and the pay that you deserve, let's be real. Yes, you will remember how to treat common illnesses. Not all of you will be able to do this without consulting the good old UpToDate. But guess what? Guess what I'm gonna say? That is okay. Eventually you will know how to treat these diseases without looking it up. My point is, you all are gonna do amazing in the real world. Your class really truly has been one of my favorites. And no, I'm not just saying that. And no, I do not say that to every class. I promise you, talk to the other people who have graduated. You guys really are truly, truly amazing. I'm just so happy that I had the privilege and honor of teaching all of you, especially that last semester. Every class, really, I was your instructor for every class. A little much, yes, but I am so grateful that I was able to teach all of you. Speaking of amazing, how all of you are, I know you all are gonna do amazing. Each and every single one of you is unique and capable. And you're all gonna make great family nurse practitioners. And I cannot wait to see what the future holds for each and every single one of you. Speaking of how amazing all of you are, this year, we are going to have 2 categories. I would like to transition to talking about this. This year, we have chosen a Student of the Year and the most inspirational FNP student. This was so incredibly hard for us faculty to decide, because I'm not joking when I say each and every one of you, you guys are all beyond. So it was really, really hard. So first, I'm going to introduce our student of the year. Our student of the year this year is Peggy Dipp.
Yay!
Woo, Peggy! So with this, every family nurse practitioner must demonstrate 9 core competencies in order to graduate from the program at SMU. Scientific foundation, leadership, quality, practice inquiry, technology information literacy, policy, health delivery system, ethics, and independent practice. This student not only possesses all 9 of these core competencies, she has excelled at every single one. For example, you're all attending this Zoom graduation today due to the leadership of Peggy. She has organized this entire graduation ceremony with the help of some of her classmates. And without her, we could not be doing this. So I just want to say thank you to Peggy for organizing this and putting the plan together and putting everything together. You are truly amazing, and that takes such hard work and leadership skills. So thank you. Yet another example. Peggy received a perfect score on her clinical evaluation from her preceptor. Per her preceptor, who is a medical doctor who typically a lot of times are a little bit more, picky about their students. This is what he said about Peggy in her evaluation. Quote, Peggy takes initiative to see patients, performs exams independently, and has a great bedside manner. She always comes in with a positive attitude and ready to learn, and she exhibits professionalism and compassion for the patients and staff. End quote. I could not agree more. Peggy has always been a joy in class. I have never seen her without a smile, never once. Her attitude is infectious. Her intelligence is also something that needs to be recognized. The sky is the limit for you, Peggy. Thank you for all your hard work and everything you have done. And we do have plaques coming, so we will get your address after and we will send those to you, hopefully within the next week or so. So next, I'd like to introduce the most inspirational family nurse practitioner student. This is a new category for the FNP faculty, but we thought it was needed this year, especially with everything going on with COVID. This year, the most inspirational FNP student award goes to Jacqueline Victoria. As many of you have known, Jacqueline received a kidney transplant 8 years ago. Before her transplant, she had to receive dialysis. However, despite her kidney disease and transplant, she pursued her dream to become a nurse and then nurse practitioner. She is now currently working as an RN despite the COVID virus. What many of you probably do not know is that transplant recipients are immunocompromised. This means that they're more likely to get the virus. However, this has not stopped Jacqueline. She still works and works as an RN despite all of the COVID and everything going on. Also, she recently accepted a job into oncology hematology as a nurse practitioner and will start working there despite COVID as soon as she becomes a nurse practitioner, once she receives her license. She also demonstrates grace, integrity, and intelligence, among many, many other descriptive words. I just don't have time to list them all here today. I'm in awe of her and her accomplishments, and I'm so happy that I'm able to give this award here today to Jacqueline. So congratulations, and congratulations to every single one of you. You guys are all incredibly amazing, and I will not forget a single one of you. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Love, and congratulations to both Peggy and Jacqueline. So next we have a video presentation created by Sarah Aguilar.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Aguilar. I created a little slideshow for you. Give me 1 second, I'll share my screen.
Wow, that was amazing. That's a little tearjerker there. That was great. Thank you so much for that. So now the moment we have all been waiting for, with the reading of the names from the graduating FNP class of 2020, presented by Dr. Terry Dean Dowalder, Assistant Professor and one of the founding faculty of the FNP program in the Sacramento campus.
Hello, can you hear me, everyone? Great, all right. So as I begin to introduce your names, I just want to let you know that you are welcome to stop. I'm going to stop after each name, and you're welcome to clap or give a hug to that person. Or some of you may want to put on the hood of the person who's receiving that. So I'm going to say the name slowly, and I'm going to give you a moment to celebrate. First student, Emmanuel Aglubat.
Yay!
That's what I was waiting for.
Yay! Yay!
Perla Aguayo. Sarah Elizabeth Aguilar.
All right. Sarah, yeah.
Mariela Akela.
Go on, Kayla.
Stacy Ann Andaya. Peggy Dip.
Yay! You did it! Go, Peggy! We did! Go, go, go!
Sarah Fender.
Sarah, yeah.
Keep going.
Christopher Hall,
Look, Chris.
Love you, Christopher.
Haley Harmon,
Hey. Love it.
Christina Hernandez,
Oh, Christine.
Hey, Christina.
Francesca Jensen,
Yeah!
Jennifer Manabot, Samantha Manzano,
Man.
Tiffany Kwan, Zachary Renato Sabato,
Go, Zachary.
Zach.
Woo.
Lauren Salmo,
Go, Lauren.
Lauren!
All right. Yeah.
Atanuk Shatu Abina. Yay!
Let's go!
Congratulations, baby.
Love you, sis.
Yeah.
Adiok Rosemary Shatu.
Thank you, sis. Oh my gosh.
Good job, Mom. Love you.
Thank you.
Good job, baby.
Thank you, baby.
Rajveer Sohal. Mary Thomas. Rachel Valdez. Jacqueline Victoria.
Jack, we love you.
We love you.
W. Tiffany Wu.
Lacey Watson.
Oh, Watson.
And Tiffany Wu.
Yeah.
Oh,那有黄的那个东西。
Way to go, Chris.
Congratulations, class.
Whoa! Ow!
You guys did it.
Congratulations, class of 2020. You guys are amazing.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Chris.
All right, you guys.
Yay, Lauren. Congratulations.
Oh, yay.
Congratulations, class. So now we'll have some closing remarks by Lauren Salmo.
Hello, classmates, faculty members, family, and friends. After 10 very long, challenging, and sometimes fun semesters of this family nurse practitioner program, here we are, ready to enter the workforce as shiny new family nurse practitioners. I want to extend a huge thank you to the family members, friends, professors, and preceptors who supported us along the way. Though this is a joyous occasion, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the immense difficulty of living through and graduating during a global pandemic. We are entering the healthcare workforce in a time of great uncertainty, but if this program has taught me anything, it is that we are resilient and committed and supportive of one another. We will come out on the other side and with many valuable lessons learned. So, diplomas in the mail, licenses pending. I, like many of my classmates, feel a fluctuating combination of excitement, anticipation, and fear. Finally, after all this schooling, I'm done. But how am I going to practice on my own? How can I remember everything all the time? And how many times a day is it acceptable to text my old professors? One question sums it up. How can I do my best? For this speech, I will offer a couple of points on how we can do our best as new nurse practitioners. First, never forget why you started. How did your healthcare journey begin? Mine started 13 years ago.
Well, I do have you on the
during
phone.
my
Can I
first
get someone
college
to order
internship
me
at the
some
Adolescent AIDS program in New York
lens
City.
cleaner that you guys?
Every afternoon, I took a 20-minute train ride back home to where I grew up. Only 20 minutes away and 80% fewer HIV-infected people per capita. Fast forward to 2020, this pandemic highlights the underlying inequalities and extra burdens that communities of color face in this country. I became a nurse practitioner to join the fight against health disparities and health.
I'm not in, it's at home right now. I don't have it.
We can do our best by keeping our personal missions at the forefront of our work. Second, bear witness to your patients' stories. Last month, I read a moving memoir titled In Shock by Dr. Rana Adish. Dr. Adish is a critical care physician from Detroit who became a patient in her own ICU after suffering life-threatening complications during pregnancy. Only from her experiences as a patient did she learn how to heal others. I'm going to read a passage from her book that stood out to me most.
Okay, I have another important phone call coming in.
If everybody can please just go on mute so we can hear well, thank you.
Hey, son, how you doing?
Clinicians often enter the lives of patients on their absolute worst days. They meet without the benefit of social graces. Patients appear depersonalized in generic hospital uniforms. They lack means to project their identity through dress or choice of hairstyle. They lack ability to control their circumstances. They might be in pain, scared, and suffering. They might be angry, frustrated, and disenfranchised. They might be worried about bills at home or who will feed the dog. They might be addicts. They might have made terrible choices. They might be easy to judge. They might not have the skills to be kind while in pain. They might never in their lives have had kindness shown to them. They might be many things, but one thing is true, they are doing their best. The patient, even the accusatory and fearful patient, is doing their best. They are doing their best to trust that this person whom they just met, whose name they barely caught during the introduction, will stay up the whole of the night to care for them. They are doing their best to believe that their past choices will not be held against them. They are doing their best to withstand the pain before pushing the call light again. They are doing their best to believe that they are worthy of the compassion and humility of a stranger. A humility that dictates that while we cannot possibly understand every patient's story perfectly, we can trust them to tell it without imbuing it with our own biases. And when they tell their story, we can receive it and bear witness to it. And in return for their willingness, however tenuous, to put their faith in us, we can do our best. As President Obama stated in his commencement speech on Saturday, if the world's going to get better, it's going to be up to you. I'm inspired by all of you, and I can't wait to see what you achieve. Congratulations, FNP class of 2020. And with that, toss your caps.
Woo! Yeah, Lauren!
Yeah, Lauren! Yeah, Lauren!
Wonderful.
Yeah, Lauren.
Lauren.
Moves the, they moves the cord.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, family and students, everybody for coming. And thank you, family, for supporting the students. And class of 2020 FNP class, you guys are absolutely amazing. You guys will do wonderful, wonderful things in the healthcare community and in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations! Congrats, everyone! Congrats, Christy!
Conductor.
Congrats! Good job!